The year is 1922, and a young boy arrives in the thriving city of Tokyo at a small auto repair shop, wide-eyed and excited at the potential success that awaits him. This boy has all the mechanical skills in the world and can't wait to showcase them after spending years in his small village of hometown honing them. But instead of letting this young boy get to work as a mechanic, the auto repair shop gives him small tasks such as cleaning floors and buying the owners of the shop lunch. Little did they know that the young boy was a diamond in the rough that would take over the world of motorbike and automobile manufacturing years later. That boy was Soichiro Honda. The journey to motorcycle and automobile greatness has a humble beginning in a small village in Japan, where the founder of Honda, Soichiro Honda, was born. From growing up poor and having no formal education, this is the inspiring story of how Soichiro Honda went from nothing to creating one of the most successful and recognizable motorbike and automobile companies in the world. On November 17, 1906, Soichiro Honda was born in Hamamatsu, Shizuoka, Japan, a small village without much opportunity for success. His father Gihei worked as a blacksmith and also owned a bicycle repair shop, and his mother Mika did work as a weaver. The family was poor and life was hard for Soichiro, but this never knocked the spark of curiosity out of him. Even as a toddler, Soichiro's uniqueness was evident when he saw his first car, which was a Ford Model T. The story goes that Soichiro was so fascinated by the car that he actually tried chasing after it. This was certainly a sign of great things to come. As Soichiro grew up, he became interested in creating new things and especially how cars and other vehicles are designed. Bicycles grew in popularity in big cities during the early 1900s, meaning that things were getting busy at Gihei's bicycle shop. Soichiro played a big role in helping his father fix up broken bicycles and sell them in Tokyo. Soichiro got better at making repairs, and his passion for this type of work grew. Soichiro loved hands-on work and being around his father's repair shop, but he didn't have the same type of love for school. In fact, Soichiro did terribly in school and tried to find ways to avoid getting in trouble with his parents. While in grade school, students were supposed to bring back a report card to their parents and get it signed. Soichiro found a way around this and started stamping his report cards with a signature he designed by cutting out his family's signature onto old tires. He started doing this for other classmates as well, but got caught because the signatures he forged were not symmetrical. His father punished him, but not for the reason you would think. It wasn't because Soichiro forged the signatures, but rather that he did a poor job and got caught for it. By 1922, Soichiro Honda was looking to advance himself in the art of auto repairs. His skills were sharp, and he was finally done with school. A young man at the time, Soichiro was as excited as ever to show that he was ready to get better and take his skills to a new level. He then came across an ad for a job opportunity with Art Shokai, an auto repair shop in Tokyo. Soichiro was extremely excited at this opportunity and immediately traveled to Tokyo and landed the job. In the blink of an eye, Soichiro went from the quiet life in a Japanese village right to the heart of the country's most lively city. However, things didn't go as he expected when he started working with Art Shokai. Being as young as he was, Soichiro was given very minimal tasks, such as cleaning the facility and making meals for the owners of the shop. While this wasn't what Soichiro had in mind when he made the trip to Tokyo, he caught a break after an earthquake hit Tokyo in 1923, and many of the workers at Art Shokai took time off from the shop to rebuild their homes. Soichiro was given the opportunity to work as a mechanic and made it count, with his job becoming a permanent one. Art Shokai became a very popular auto repair shop in the years following the earthquake, and Soichiro got better and better at repairing vehicles, and his knowledge grew exponentially. In addition to finally getting a chance to work hands-on and practice what he loved, Soichiro was also educated on the business side of things by the owner of Art Shokai, a man by the name of Yuzo Sakakibara. Yuzo at one point asked Soichiro to help him design a race car, and the two designed a model known as the Curtiss, which took first place in the Japan Motor Car Championship in 1924. Appreciative and impressed with Soichiro's excellent work, Art Shokai gave Soichiro another opportunity when the company opened a branch not far from where Soichiro grew up. Soichiro was offered a position to manage and operate this new branch. Still in his 20s, Soichiro was young but quickly moving his way up. By the 1930s, Soichiro was making a great living and had his own team working for him as well. By the mid-1930s, Soichiro Honda was designing race cars with cooling engines he designed using his own unique methods. Soichiro worked extensively at producing piston rings as well. He was so passionate about his creations that he wanted to test them himself and began entering racing competitions to do so. But this almost led to a fatal accident in 1936 when Soichiro nearly died in a race at Tama River, a suburb of Tokyo. Soichiro crashed into another car and suffered severe injuries, forcing him to spend 3 months at a hospital to recover and ending his racing career. While at the hospital, Soichiro was dealt another blow as he learned that only 3 of the 30,000 piston rings he sent to Toyota for quality examination were up to par with their standards. This didn't break Soichiro's spirits, however, as he continued to push forward and founded his own company known as Tokai Seiki and discovered the formula necessary to produce piston rings that met the standards of the industry. Orders for Soichiro's piston rings skyrocketed, but just as things started getting better, Japan got involved in World War II, and Soichiro lost most of his employees. Even worse for Soichiro was that his factory was destroyed by American bombardments, and he sold off his business to Toyota, thinking that there was no path to recovery given the state of things in Japan at the time. Although Japan was in a tough spot following World War II, and Soichiro Honda took a massive hit when he had to sell off his business, this didn't stop the visionary from continuing on his path to greatness. Soichiro opened a factory in 1946 known as the Honda Technology Research Institute, which focused on building mopeds. The mopeds were a massive hit in Japan, and he sold 1,500 of them. Soichiro then had the engine of the moped switched out with one he designed himself, and with that, the first Honda A-type moped was developed in 1947. And by 1948, the Research Institute was now Honda Motor Company. The main goal of Honda Motor Company was to sell affordable motorbikes that Japanese people could use to efficiently travel around. In 1949, Soichiro partnered up with his friend Takeo Fujisawa, who focused on the financial side of the business. This allowed Soichiro to focus on creating the best possible product to put out on the market. And that is exactly what he did. Honda had massive success with the Super Cub motorbike and received a flood of orders for it. It was light and very efficient. Honda then broke into the US market with the Super Cub in 1958, and at that point the company was the largest motorcycle manufacturer in Japan. By the 1960s, Honda was the largest motorcycle manufacturer in the world, putting out 1 million motorbikes a month. To this day, Honda remains in this position and has only grown in its excellence. There was no doubt that by the 1960s, Soichiro Honda had made the most of what life had given him. He had his ups and downs, but with the success of his motorcycles, his life was back on track. But there was still one thing left for him to do: create a quality car that he could sell on a global scale. While those around Soichiro believed that he should stay in his lane and continue to focus on selling motorcycles, Soichiro was determined to prove people wrong and pursue his passion. With some failures along the way, including an attempt at selling a mini truck in the 1960s that flopped, Soichiro finally found the answer in his Honda Civic model in 1975. The Civic was a massive success and took the world by storm as it was both environmentally friendly and extremely efficient. Honda built production plants in the US in the 1970s as well, which was unheard of at the time because of the fact that they were a Japanese manufacturer. More success found the company throughout the 1980s with the company's Honda Accord model, and Soichiro climbed the mountain of automobile production. Today, Honda remains at the top of the automobile and motorcycle manufacturing ladder, and it was all thanks to the unwavering determination and skill of a boy from a small village in Japan.